Okay, so we've been considering launching our drone delivery service where we can deliver things like emergency medical, pizza, food, a six-pack of beer, things like pain relievers if you have a headache, and other supplies to your floating home. And we thought instead of just doing this for sea pods, we can also expand this service to other people in the community. In our particular area, we have a lot of boats. So we were thinking, how can we do a drone delivery to someone that is on a boat? And that becomes pretty tricky because we have these, we have the masts and we have posts and we have lines and all kinds of things. So you can't land your drone anywhere in here safely. So this is my version of a boat. It's not so pretty, but you get the point. So the concept is that we came up with is to have a system that it connects to the side, kind of like attaches here, and something like this. So it's supported. I'll show you the design a little bit closer up. So this section here would go over the edge of the boat, and it would you'd be able to, this is a knob here, so you'd be able to fasten it, and this kind of would be flexible, so it could either go this way or this way as needed. It would be movable. And then we have, this would be like a rubber pad, so it would have good grip. And then we would have this would be out about a meter. So this post here would be about a meter long. And then we have another area about a meter long, which would be the landing area. And this might have to change depending on the drone that's being landed. So in some cases we might have to have a larger unit, but we just have to adjust that depending on the system. Then we would have to have something like this a little bit further down, and this would help stabilize it, because otherwise this would have this would have a weak point right here. So structurally we want to have some reinforcement just like that. So this could go further down or it could go further up depending on where you wanted to put it, and you can adjust the length of this with an adjustment knob here, and you can loosen it, and then you could move this, so this would be one, and then this would go over top of the other one, so you could move this in or out depending on if you wanted this to be longer. So if you wanted this whole arm to go down to here, then you just need to extend this a little bit. Hopefully that all makes sense. And we'd also have a rubber pad here, and then this green thing here, this would be an optional gecko tape. Gecko tape is kind of like tape. It's an adhesive, and it sticks to surfaces really well, and it's very easily reusable because you can just wash it and it becomes reusable. And this whole idea is taken from the idea of the geckos that can walk up walls because they have these micro suction cups on their fingers and their feet. So it's the same kind of thing that's built into this gecko tape. Very cool material. And then up here we have this landing tray, which looks like this circular thing here, and you'd be able to pull this whole thing in. You'd be able to pull it in or out with this string. So it's this brown string here. The brown string would be tied to the under part of the tray and would go under over to here to a bar that would be at the end of this drone landing spot. And then it would also, so it would freely go through here would be tied to here, and it would loop through here, and then you'd have an end over here. So you could pull it, and if you pull it, then it would pull this out. So this tray would come out. But if you pulled it in the opposite direction, then you could pull this back in. So you can pull it either way. So it's a nice little mechanism to do that. And then this green thing here is a QR code or an April tag. It could also be an infrared tag, which would allow you to land at night much more precisely than if you weren't using this, because that an IR tag or an infrared tag allows you to have a camera on the drone that can detect that infrared tag and land very, very precisely, even when it's dark or in unclear or foggy conditions. You'd have a much better chance of seeing this. So in general, the drone looks for a GPS location. So GPS location gets it pretty close, but it doesn't get it to exactly land on this area, because especially if you're a boat, you may be moving 3 meters, 5 meters, 10 meters, or 20 meters. So the GPS location gets it close. Then the drone itself looks for this QR code or April tag or IR tag. And then with that, it is able to really hone in on that as a landing pad. So it hopefully can be, we can get an extremely precise landing for our drones, or get drones that have the ability to do extremely precise landings. There are different kinds of drones, and some are super, super precise. And so then the drone would land here, drop its package, and then fly away. Or it would come down, pick up a package, and then fly away. So in this case, it has a solid grid. So it's like grating material. It's for our sea pods, actually on the dock area, we have a grate material. It's called grating material. It's made with fiberglass reinforced plastic, and that is really good because it allows the water to go through it and not cause any problems. So the water can go right through this. It's particularly important on the dock, which is close to the water. This is going to be a little bit higher, so the water won't normally go there. But the water, if it goes on the dock, the water can go. If it didn't have this grid, then it would go and push the whole system up. So we don't want that. So in the case of the dock, we're using this FRP grating material to allow the water to go through. But in our case now on this drone, we want to have this system as light as possible. So this makes it more advantageous to have this. And it also allows the downdraft air from the drone to go through, and it should make for a smoother landing. So then we have this, let's see, this is kind of like a tray. This whole thing is like a tray with a raised edge. So here you can kind of see how it has a raised edge. So from an angle, it might look like, that's a horrible drawing. I'll do that again. So, like that. And maybe that kind of makes sense, I hope. So this edge is maybe 2 to 3 inches tall. And then this diameter is about 1 meter. And so this, we want to have it like this, because if we're dropping off a box, we don't want a big wind to come along and push it off either side. So we have this ridge all the way around, and that will hopefully prevent any packages from getting blown off. And so that's the concept. thought this was a good solution to the problem, and yeah, we're going to go and build a test unit and see how that works.